Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Caffeine Queen Crafts. My name is Sarah, and I am here tonight with a Wip and Chat. Is that going the right way? It's going the right way, yeah. So, Wip and Chat. Whipping and chatting. We are doing... I don't even think I know how to describe it. We're doing a Wip and Chat, which essentially means I'm going to be working on this diamond painting here and talking at you guys while I do it. I have, Miso the cat is here with me, and she's going to be very needy because she accidentally got locked in the basement. You know, Miss Ma'am went down there to play. I closed the door when we came back up. I forgot Miso was down there. But she's fine. She's a good girl. Yes, she is. So, she might be super, super needy tonight. So, it might be more of a pet the cat and chat. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. I've got, like, my right hand on her right now. So, this will be fun. Thought I heard sushi. I know you're Miso and you stretch so good. All right. Squeak. What? Was your leg stuck? That's awful. Oh my God, I tell you, today with these cats, it has been something else. All right, so before I crack this open, let's get into what I am working on and what I am working with. So I am doing Cinderella's Castle for my event Finn in February. I'm filming this Monday night, February 23rd. It's going to go up on the 25th. So I guess you could still join for a couple of days on this Pet the Cat and Chat. So, yeah, this is what we're at. So we're kind of at we're reaching the end because I started at the top. So we're at the, like, very edge of this. I don't even know if you can see it through Miso. We're towards the bottom of the castle. In the bottom left-hand corner-ish. We're in, like, the second to last row. Sorry. I predicted this. Didn't I predict this? Before I continue, let's just talk about these cats for a minute. Miso has had a bit of a day because we were out of cat food this morning. They have prescription cat food. I forgot that we were out. And I had to give them wet food. They were not happy with the wet food. I don't know very many cats that prefer the kibble to the wet food, but mine do. Because they're weird. Just weirdos. Yes, weirdos. Well, Miso is not on prescription food. Sushi is on prescription food, and Miso just eats Sushi's food because, I mean, I tried to separate it for a while, but unless I was willing to pay, like, all that money for those, there's those, like, fancy, cat bowls you can get where there's, like, a microchip in each of your cats, and it won't open. Like the bowl's closed and it won't open unless it's the right cat that approaches. And I was not gonna do it, so I asked the vet and they were like, yeah, Miso can just eat the prescription food for Sushi. It's no big deal. Because Sushi, I don't know if I've ever told this story. Sushi, my other cat, if I remember, I'll pop a picture of her up. Sushi, quite famously in this house, people still talk about it, got a bladder infection the day before my C-section. And I was obviously super, super pregnant. Like, you know, Miss Ma'am was breached, so it was a scheduled C-section. And it was going to be on a Tuesday, and that Monday, or the Sunday, the vet was closed on Sunday. I noticed she was using the litter box more. I called the vet first thing Monday morning. I explained to them what was happening with her. And they were like, yeah, we can get you in later this week. And I was like, okay. I don't want to be this person. And you can say no, and we will figure something out. But I am literally giving birth tomorrow. Like, I have a C-section scheduled for tomorrow. And I am going to be in the hospital after that, obviously, because, you know, I'm having, let's be real, a C-section is abdominal surgery. And if I need to find someone to take this cat into the vet, I absolutely can. I do have a very supportive and loving family. But I think everyone would feel more comfortable if I was the one who brought her in. Is there any way you can get us in today? They were so sweet. They said they'd call me back. They kept us, they stayed open late for me. They were so, so sweet. But there was about 30 minutes between, me making the request and them being like, let me see what I can do. I'll call you back. There was about 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, my dad comes up to me and he's like, what's going on with Sushi? Something's up with her. And I explained to him what was happening. He was like, okay, so she's going to the vet today. And I was like, I don't know. I think she's going to the vet today. I asked them if they could squeeze her in today. And if they can't, you're probably going to have to take her. He looked at me and he said, you need to call them back and you need to tell them that it has to be today. Tell them I will pay any amount of money for it to be today so that I don't have to take that cat in. I was like, that's a really drastic thing to say. Because, like, he's comfortable, but he's not, like, that comfortable. And I don't know. I was flabbergasted. Luckily, I did not have to do that. They called me back and they were like, yes, we can get you in, like, right at close, but you have to be here right at close. And I was there right at close. She had a bladder infection. She had to be on antibiotics and all this stuff. And they were like, we could give her the antibiotics twice a day in her food or shots. The shots are more expensive, but they're less hassle. And I was just like, shots. I'm going to have a newborn baby. I need to simplify the process of taking care of these cats for my family as much as I can, because my family's mostly dog people. Yeah, they're mostly dog people. Yeah. Miso. You're like full on laying on my diamond painting. I do not know how much we're going to get done tonight. This legit might just be a pet the cat in chat. I don't have it in me to move her. I'm such a softie and I feel so bad that I accidentally locked her in the basement. I really hope nobody's mad at me about this. And that she's at least on screen so you guys can see how little and how cute she is. Is she in the shot? Let me see. I'm gonna move you. Oh, she's kind of in the shot. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Me shifting the camera so that you didn't get your perfect close-up. Is that what did it for you, Miso? Could you move my... There's gonna be cat hair on my glue now. Come over here. Come over here. They're here for diamond painting, not just petting the cat. I know. You're a little baby. But we were talking about food. But you know what? Normally, it's not a big deal when we run out of the prescription food. Because, if they have something else for one time, like one meal, it's not that big a deal. And I bet you're thinking, Sarah, why, if Miso eats the prescription food and Sushi eats the prescription food, why would you have anything else in the house? And the answer is because I feed the feral cat outside, and the prescription food is expensive, and we are not made of money around here. She eats Iams from the grocery store. But I was out of that too. It was a trifecta of madness. I gave them all wet food, and all three of them, Miso, Sushi, the feral cat outside, when I got home, like, Big Mama was waiting on the porch, and I could hear her yelling at me through the door. And Miso and Sushi were yelling at me the second I walked in. And I'm like, I gave you all food. Like, I wanted emphasized, I did not leave them hungry. I gave them wet food. But apparently it was not to their standards because, well, Big Mama, to be fair, had eaten it. I think she was still just hungry because she snacks throughout the day. Miso and Sushi had not touched it, so they were just being finicky. Oh, my gosh. You two are just weird. All right. Back to diamond painting. Now that we are, God only knows, like what, 10 minutes probably into this Wip and Chat? And I haven't even started? Okay, it's fine. So what I'm working on is I am working on Cinderella's Castle from Disney. This is a Diamond Art Club kit. It is in squares. It is 70 centimeters by 88 centimeters roughly. It's big. We're down here. in this little, like the edge of this little house thing, turret thing. I don't know. We're at the back of the castle. I started at the top and I worked my way down. So we're approaching the end here. I already started this section, as you can see. And what else? Okay, what we are working with. Well, we are working with cat hair everywhere. That is what we are doing. Hold on one second. Sorry. I have my tray, the Inferno tray from Firefly. I think this color is unicorn. I don't remember. I ordered this like over a year ago. This is my all-time favorite tray. There's putty on it. I have a Coverminder trash pot from Black Dahlia Diamond Arts, who is a sponsor of the event I am hosting right now. I will link that kickoff video down below if you want to join us for like the last 3 days. I guess, sure, you can. That's Miso in her ears. So cute, yes. And then, in terms of what I am diamond painting with, like I've got my trace and my Coverminder. This pen was gifted to me by a friend. I'm pretty sure she bought it off Amazon. I found something similar on Amazon that I have been linking down below. I use the same pen for the whole kit because that's just, Miso just rolled off the chair. Oh my God, the cat drama we have tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, even for my cats, this is next level. All right, and I have, so this pen, it's threaded, which means that it's not pushing, it's screw in. So these tips really only work with this particular pen. I don't know. I don't mind it, but like I probably am not going to buy any more threaded pens. Again, this was gifted to me. Just going to scrape the old stuff out. So this is old putty from last week. That's just where we are right now. I will say I feel like Creations Marin Putty, because that's what this was, cleans out of my stuff really well. And then I forget what was in here. Super sticky, probably? It's me, so it was probably super sticky. I do like to have putty in my multi-placer and wax in my single placer. I like a 5-placer. Oh. Hold on one sec. Okay, we're back. Sorry, my dad came home and he was in a very chatty mood. So this is going to be a shorter whip and chat now so that I can still get to bed on time. If you're new to this channel, I get up at 5 a.m. every morning because I don't know, I guess I hate sleep. Anyway, what I did load up my pen while he was talking just to save time. I have this Merry Cookie putty, which is technically a Christmas putty, but it works really well with the scent for my wax and my multi-place, my single placer. Hi, Miso. Can you not? My God. I don't think anyone wants me to diamond paint tonight, guys. I think it's just not, oh my God. Anyway, in my single placer, I have Sugar Plum Danish Wee Wax from Wee Wax Crafts, which smells incredible. And I thought it went really well with the Merry Cookie putty. It's still wintry for a couple more days. We got some like flurries today. No, I'm not peeling that back while she's sitting here. Oh my God. I don't think, it's like, it's 9:30. And I've placed one, and all I've done is load up my pen and place one color. How is this possible? Does no one want mommy to diamond paint tonight? Is that just, oh my God. Sometimes my dad comes home in a talkative mood. He was in a talkative mood. He was talking to me about shows that he always checks what's on at the Lincoln because my sister lives in New York and he wants to tell her about it or tell her to go see things and this, that, and the other. And then he was talking about my mom, which is always a thing, and then Miss Ma'am, his only grandbaby who he adores, so, you know. And now I have Miso sitting here. being a bad baby. This is partially my fault that it's so late and I'm just now sitting down to diamond paint because I was just kind of not in the mood. I put Miss Ma'am to bed and I was like, I don't want to diamond paint. I want to play video games. Let's play Tears of the Kingdom for an hour and then I'll film my Wip and Chat. I'll just be able to squeeze it in before I go to bed. But no, I cannot. I was joking at the beginning of this when I said it was going to be a Pet the Cat and Chat. But I guess it's a Pet the Cat and Chat. Oh my God. You'd think she never gets any attention. But she gets all the attention. Everybody loves her. All right. We're just going to talk, I guess. What's been going on? Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff has been going on. This weekend was crazy. I somehow managed to finish 4 sections. Or was it 3? I don't know. Either 3 or 4 really chunky sections of this kit in a day. There's a decent amount of color blocking in this kit, which is not necessarily my favorite thing, but it does work up very fast. You're getting cat hair just everywhere. Do you know that? And in that day, I also did a lot of stuff. Like, I was pretty productive that day. My aunt was babysitting my cousin's kids, and they're older. Not like super old, but they're like elementary school old. And they love spending time with Miss Ma'am, my daughter. Hi. Hi. Yes. So they were, of course, like, well, you spend the weekends with Sarah and little Holly, right? So Holly can come along. And so we went to the arcade with the 3 kids and had a great time. They're so good with her. And one of them wanted to go see The Goat, which is the movie about the animals playing, I think they call it roar ball, which is basketball. My aunt didn't want to see it. The other little boy didn't want to see it. Holly's definitely too young for it, but I wound up taking him. And he had a good time. He enjoyed it. Hi. While the others went out to play. I had a really great time. And then Sunday was just chill. We chilled. Because, I don't know, it was cold. I was tired. Little Miss was tired. We weren't in the mood. Did we go somewhere yesterday? I don't think we did. I don't know. And then, of course, we ran out of cat food. So that was that. Can I help you? What do you want me to do for you? Because you're kind of sitting on the hand I used to pet you. And you're using the other hand that I used to pet you to brace yourself. Okay. I think I'm not destined to diamond paint tonight, you guys. I legit do not know what to do or say. She's purring. Why am I such a sucker for this? I know I'm just making it worse. I'm validating her bad behavior. But she's just so cute. And I feel bad for Miso. Because Sushi does not really like Miso. And if Sushi hadn't eaten all day, then Sushi was probably very hungry today. And was probably mean to poor Miso all day. And then she got locked in the basement. So I know Miso here had a hard day. And I just don't want to. I don't want to be mean to her. She's purring. She's so sweet. She's a sugar plum Danish. Oh. So, obviously, we're doing what we're doing. Yeah. I don't even know what to say at this point. Let's just talk. Okay, so I feel weird though not doing anything with my hands. Ugh. I love her. I just love her. Like, look at how that paw is curving around that face. Can you guys see that? I think you can. That should be in the shot. And just the way she's angled. She's got these little speckles on her face. The little speckles. Oh, and her nose is the bestest nose that you ever did see. I know. When I initially adopted her, they called her Speckles. I renamed her, of course, so that her name matched Sushi's. Oh. What's Sushi mean to you today? Yeah, I try. I try for you. You know I do. You're so little. What am I gonna do with you? You're probably getting cat hair in my glue. Ugh. I'm a bad cat mom. I feel like this is just the theme of these Wip and Chats when you hear me do my stream of consciousness. She's so loud right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I don't have a microphone, so I can't, like, scooch it any closer to her, but oh my god. My family likes to joke that this is not a cat, this is a dog. I know, you're so little. And you just need some love. You've had a hard day. So, I kind of want to be done with this kit. Which is probably why I'm not fighting Miso off so hard. I'm sort of over this kit. Which is sad, because the point of Fandom February, which is the event I'm doing this for, is to do a kit that gets the dopamine going in your brain. But it's occurring to me as I'm working up this kit that, I don't know, Cinderella does not get the dopamine going in my brain. Or maybe it did at some point when I was a kid. But it doesn't anymore, and I will tell you why. I initially did this because I was like, well, this is... Oh, sorry, I moved my tray and that upset you. Your life is so hard. Here, come to your chair. Come to your chair. Come be in your chair. Good job. So, initially, I was like, well, this is, you know, my daughter. We call her Holly on here. Well, there's cat hair in my mouth. Like, Cinderella is her favorite Disney movie. So, obviously, this is like her fandom, and she gets the dopamine going in my brain. But Cinderella doesn't. In fact, I'm on level with you guys, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm sick of Cinderella. We were Cinderella and the Fairy Godmother for Halloween. It was really cute. You know, we watched the original Cinderella, the Disney version, at least a few times a week, along with a few other movies. She does have her other movies, but like Cinderella is on heavy rotation in this house, and I'm kind of like, ugh, more Cinderella, really? And don't get me wrong, I like Cinderella, and I'm sure that at some point I will come back around on Cinderella, and I am not hating Cinderella, but like, I liked Cinderella way more than the first time we watched it than the 200th time we watched it. And I've tried getting her into other movies. I've tried Sleeping Beauty. I've tried other Disney princess movies, but no. Cinderella is the only Disney princess that will cut it in this house. And obviously this is going to go up on her wall. And that makes me happy. But it doesn't, like, get the dopamine going in my brain the way like it would if I was doing a Star Wars kit or a Zelda kit or an Avatar The Last Airbender kit. Like, or that Dungeons and Dragons kit that I have. Like, those are kits that I feel like would have been a better fit for me. And so what have we learned? We have learned that miso gets hair in your putty as well as your glue. I'm kidding. No, we have learned that for Fandom February, it really should be something that you're excited about. It should be a kit that just makes you, where the content of it just makes you happy. And like, don't get me wrong, I think that we had a great time this month. And I am so thrilled with this event. But if I were to go back and do it again, I think I would pick a different kit. I had a drill that was stuck in the putty that was looping around the pen. So here we are. We're probably like, what, almost half an hour into this Wip and Chat, and I'm just now starting to lay down some drills. Yeah, that's insane. I'd honestly be shocked if anyone was still watching at this point. But that's kind of where my headspace is at in terms of diamond painting. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next. And I have a thought, and it's probably going to be for practical reasons. And I've been saying I'm not going to do it, but I think I'm going to do it. Because, well, why not? I don't know. Why not? I'm tired today. Work, I don't know. Mondays are always, I teach new concepts on Mondays. And today one of the kids was like, we're not going to do the 3-part drill, are we? Because that's something we do 3 times a week, where we just review concepts we've already learned so that they stay fresh in our brains and so that they stay automatic in our heads. I do the 3-part drill 17 times a week. Every day with my kindergartners, 3 times a week with everybody else. So I do the 3-part drill 17 times a week. Monday afternoon, having a kid go, I'm just sick of the 3-part drill. I looked at her and I was like, if anyone has a right to complain about the 3-part drill, it is me. How many times have you done the 3-part drill today? She goes, oh, today, none. I was like, great. I've done it 4 times already. So she was like, so you're sick of it too and we don't have to do it? And I was like, no, we're going to do it because I love it, because it's important to do. That's what I said. I get it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, the 3-part drill again, but it's important. And arguably, I have to remind myself sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, we're short on time today. Maybe we should skip the 3-part drill. I have to remind myself that arguably the 3-part drill is the most important thing that I do all day, because it builds up that automaticity. If you're not in education, automaticity is being able to do something without thinking. And it is a vital skill for readers and really students of all kinds to develop. You need automaticity in math. You need automaticity in reading. Because if something is not automatic, if you don't just do it automatically, it adds to your cognitive load. It adds to the amount of work your brain has to do, which tires you out faster, which makes it harder for you to do more advanced concepts. So like, for example, if your multiplication facts are not automatic, long division would be absolutely exhausting. If you had to sound out every single word, sitting down to write about the main idea of a newspaper article would be so draining, because you would have been fighting just to decode the words, let alone comprehend them and then analyze them. So the harder you have to work at the simple tasks, the harder the more advanced tasks are, which is why the 3-part drill is so important, because we practice everything we've already learned to get it to that automatic state. So I always got to remind myself, the 3-part drill is the most important thing I do all day, which is why I do it 17 times a week. And why, even if I am sick of it, which sometimes I am, we're still gonna do it. That was my TED Talk. What else do we have going on? In terms of my personal life, I feel like there's something going on this Saturday. Is there something going on this Saturday? I don't remember. I don't know where we are in space and time anymore. I'm just kind of existing at this point, and I think we're gonna go with that's okay. Seriously, if Doctor Who came down and landed in front of me right now and was like, excuse me, ma'am, we're going to travel through space and time, I would be like, aren't we doing that already? I'm just coasting. Oh. I think, I don't know. I think that we're doing a good job. You and me. Whoever's still watching this, we're doing great. I can't believe I'm saying this because I feel like I just started, because I did, technically speaking, just start Diamond Painting, but let's start talking about content. Oh my God, how is this even happening? So, content. This is going to be such a short Wip and Chat because I'm just completely, I didn't write notes, and we kept getting interrupted by the cat, and then my dad, and then the cat again, and we're just, here we are. So, in terms of what's coming out this week, it's Monday right now. When you are watching this Wip and Chat is going up on Wednesday. So, obviously this is the first video of the week. I forgot to post a video on Sunday because I forgot that I had not filmed the video for Sunday. So there was no video last Sunday. But if I can get my brain together, which is not a guarantee, between now and Sunday, there will be a video this Sunday. In fact, I actually think Fandom February is ending this week because we have to do the week 4 video for Fandom February is coming out. That reminds me, I need to email the week 2 winner. If you're the week 2 winner, I'm sorry. It's on my list. I'm going to do it tomorrow when I'm sane or when I've slept more and my coffee is still functioning. My coffee's not functioning right now. So, you know, we have the week 4 video for Fandom February coming out, and then I guess I'm going to give that one a full week before I draw the final winner for Fandom Feb and close this out the following week. So that will have been fun. I'm excited for that. That's at least my plan right now, I should say. I might change my mind, but I think it makes logical sense right now. And then the Sunday video will come out, and we'll do all the things. I will make sure to link the week 3 Fandom February video down below, because that, when this comes out on Wednesday, will still be active for a couple more days, if you would like to check it out. But yeah, we're loving how this is going. I really liked hosting this event. Like, it was fun to be the event host and to think of creative video ideas and how this was going to work and like what the concepts were and the moods and the vibes. I enjoyed it. And I hope everybody, I say I enjoyed as though it's over. It's not over yet. February is almost over, but it's not over yet. Although I won't lie, I'm really looking forward to March. March is usually better in elementary schools. February is rough in elementary schools. March is better because the weather's better, knock on wood, and the kids can go outside. Although they did get to go outside a little bit last week, and that was a godsend. I swear, when they can't go out and play, it's like their brains just float away because they're just so jittery. So jittery. It actually is a documented fact that, like, exercise makes you perform better academically. Like, running a mile before school, obviously at, like, the high school level, has been found to improve academic performance. I forget the exact reasons. I'll link the book that I read that in down below. It's called Spark, about the science of exercise and studying and learning. It was actually a really good read. So, you know, I think that that's, you know, why recess and PE are so important for kids. They've got to go to them so that, you know, they get their brains primed for learning and they get their wiggles out and everything just stays better throughout the day. Yeah. Look at that. And then in terms of content I am consuming, that drill just popped off. I finished Sailor Moon. I did watch the 5th season. I have some feelings about it. I think the 5th season was my least favorite. And, like, you know, the 3 lights and everything and that, like, whole love triangle. I would have liked it better if it was an actual love trial and if Mama wasn't around. And spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear about the 5th season of Sailor Moon, skip ahead a few minutes. But, guys, I gotta tell you something. If my sister and I used to say this about Riverdale all the time. When we would watch Riverdale, especially the first season, when Betty's sister Polly, was it Polly? I forget her name. When Betty's sister was, like, in some mysterious, unknown location, nobody knew where she was, and Betty just kind of didn't seem to care that much. My sister and I used to look at each other and go, look, if, like, one of us mysteriously, if Mom and Dad mysteriously sends one of us to, like, some undisclosed location and says that we're not allowed to visit each other or talk to each other, I need you to care more about where I am than Betty does about, you know, where Polly is. And we said the same thing when Polly joined a cult. If I join a cult, I need you to care more than Betty does. So, like, guys, if I say I'm going to go study abroad in America, and then I stop, and then I never write, I never call, you never hear from me ever again, I need you to worry about that. Because maybe I've been abducted by aliens. You gotta look into that. That's all I'm going to say. Like, don't just assume I don't like you anymore. Maybe I've been kidnapped. Should probably double check that. Just a thought. Just a thought. And that's all I'm going to say about the matter. And I'm not knocking Sailor Moon. I loved Sailor Moon. And I still love Sailor Moon. But I've never watched the 5th season all the way through. Like, I haven't really ever watched the whole show all the way through. I think there were always a few episodes here and there I was missing. And because, like, when things used to air, when it was on Tsunami on Cartoon Network, or Toonami on Cartoon Network, I had a life, and some days I didn't want to stay in and watch TV. I'd go play outside. What a concept, children going outside. So, like, I never watched the whole series all the way through until now, as an adult. And I watched that 5th season a little, with just a scotch more scrutiny, and I was like, Usagi, you gotta look into that, girl. Like, don't just assume he doesn't like you anymore. So, something happened, like, pretty obviously. Maybe just, like, you know, I don't know. There was, like, this one time I remember, I forget what advice blog it was, but my sister used to just read me, like, the wildest advice postings people would send in to advice columnists. And there was one where it was a guy, and he was writing in, it was like a workplace advice column thing. And he's like, so my new boss is a woman I dated for 5 years and used to live with, who I ghosted. It's like, you lived with her and you ghosted her? She just came home and you moved all your stuff out and you never told her why or what happened? I don't know. I'm like, Usagi, did you assume that Mama Ru did that? Is that what happened? Because I don't understand. God. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It's a children's cartoon. But guys, seriously, internet, listen to me. If I say I'm going on a trip and then I stop writing and communicating, just double check to make sure that I'm, like, you know, alive. Just a thought. Oh my God. I can't believe I even have to say that. And then, what else? I have been playing Tears of the Kingdom again. I have a complicated relationship with Tears of the Kingdom. So, Tears of the Kingdom came out when I was very newly pregnant. And I played it a lot at first. And then I started getting, like, emotional about it and being like, no, I don't want it to end, which was, you know, the hormones of making a human baby in my brain kind of going a little wild. And I still sometimes get emotional about it. I never finished it, but I will go through spurts of playing it. And I think I'm finally at the spurt. I went way out of order where I, like, got the first 3 stages. I got the stage of wind, of fire, of water. Or maybe it was wind, water, fire. I don't remember. But I hadn't gotten the one of lightning yet. And I stumbled across this massive storm in the sky in Faron. And I was like, oh, let's go check that out. And I wound up accidentally uncovering the Sage of Spirit, who is apparently supposed to be a big reveal that you get when you're like 3/4 of the way through the game. But I finished Crisis at Hyrule tonight. And if you play Zelda, then you know that's like, you know, sort of like the mini boss battle-ish kind of game. I don't know. And had a good time. And now that's why I'm starting so late, because I was like, I'm just going to do the Crisis of Hyrule. I did the Crisis of Hyrule. And now the game's like, all right, since you already found the Sage of Spirit, it is time for you to finish the game. And I'm like, what? No, because apparently that is still a leftover feeling that I have. I don't want to finish the game. I want to hold the book. I want to hold the game. I almost said the book. This is a vibe I get with books sometimes. I want to hold the game in my heart. I don't want to finish. I don't want to know. Because I'm worried that my favorite character might not make it. And I don't trust video games anymore. Because did any of you ever play the new Paper Mario? Mario Origami? It was dark. Okay, like it was really dark. Like it was shockingly dark. And I, like, not to give any spoilers or anything. I'm really trying not to give spoilers, but I was still living in New York, and I still had a roommate even. I didn't have a roommate the last couple years I was in New York, but I still had a roommate. That's how long ago this was. And I was playing Paper Mario with her. Like, you know, we were just sort of spending the day where we were each just, you know, taking turns playing our favorite video games. I'm talking. And she fell asleep on the couch. And she woke up. And when she fell asleep, we were in like a happy little, you know, like Las Vegas-y, Agrabah style village. And then when she woke up, we were in a dark, dingy cave, and all the toads had been hole punched. Like, you know, they're made of paper. And the big boss of that level was apparently a hole puncher, and he had hole punched everyone's face off. And she woke up and she was like, this is a children's game. What is this? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Miso. Really? 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 Oh my God. You guys. All right. We're going to stop. We're just going to let it go. It was not destined to be tonight. It just was not meant to be. The forces conspired against us. We're going to cut it off here. It's bedtime anyway. It's bedtime anyway. All right. So, if you made it all the way to the end, leave me a cat emoji. I don't think I need to tell you why you should leave me a cat emoji, but you should leave me a cat emoji. And I hope your caffeine is hitting just right and that your crafting is going super well. Bye, I guess.